What's going on, beautiful people? It's your boy, Mr. Meyer, with the fire, here to share ideas and take our collective vibration up higher. In today's episode of Simplified Astrology, we're going to talk about the winter solstice. Because today, from a geocentric perspective, the sun is sitting in front of the Capricorn stars. And that goes Capricorn hard. So what does this mean for you and your friends and your family? If you are in the northwestern hemisphere, this means it is the start of winter time. It's really cold. So my intention before we go any further with this video is to make my message short, sweet, and to the point because I value your attention and time, and I'm also cold and I want to go inside. The best advice I would give to you on a practical level is it's time to start taking care of the health, preventative maintenance. Stay ready so you don't actually have to get ready. Start taking that vitamin D, take that vitamin C, maybe that elderberry, and do what you need. Capricorn is the 10th sign of the zodiac, and its mantra is I use. Saturn is home here. Really, the point of Capricorn energy is to be resourceful and to stop wasting time. Time is the most precious resource of all. We would do all well to not waste it. Not only is our sun in Capricorn, we've also got our moon flowing through the sign of Sagittarius today. And we're going to have a new moon in Capricorn on Friday the 23rd. There's a lot to talk about as far as changes and transitions. The leaves are like non-existent. If you look behind me, we're about to get less sunlight. This is the fall of the sun, the winter. You could call the fall of the sun, but you should see what I'm saying. We're going to get less light, more darkness. And there's a change. This turning of the wheel, this Yuletide season does represent the underworld. I do have tarot cards and we might pull a few, but I do want to say that if you're familiar with the archetypes, the card we're pulling right now is the Devil card. That is Capricorn. This talks about the material world, the things that are real, the things that are tangible and visceral. Capricorn has a seriousness about it and even an austerity. Capricorn being the 10th house, the spot that you find the sun at noon most of the time in most geographies, this really represents our status and our calling, even our legacy, how other people are going to perceive us publicly. If you happen to be one of these people or understand or meet anybody under the sign of Capricorn, you're going to know that these people are pretty diligent. And the problem and the really cool thing about these people is that they know how to get what it is that they want. Their practical manner of thinking really lends their goals to be actualized by action and time and nothing else. So that's something to think about, is that if you really utilize the resource of time to the best of your ability and have a strong sense of authority and take action, it's very easy to get what you want. And if you have huge dreams and goals that aren't necessarily easy and they're hard and they're worth it, creating that systematic plan of attack is always going to work out well in your favor as far as being able to make progress, whatever that looks like for you. So in addition to the sun making its way through the Capricorn stars, we need to talk about Mercury being in the sign of Capricorn. Venus is also in the sign of Capricorn. So this is the planet of thought, speech, and intellect. And then we've got the planet of love and values and relationships. And there is an extended breakdown for Venus and Capricorn on my channel. It's the last video. But in short, this has us thinking more deductively and sharp and pragmatically. So a big key for Capricorn season is to protect your positivity, y'all. The cool thing about Saturn is that it's hard and it's real. And when things get too real and too hard, you may kind of feel defeated or crushed. And that shit sucks. Saturn doesn't make anything easy for anybody. But if you understand where you're going and you deliberately choose the hard, you can ease up some pressure on yourself. Make sure that your positivity pervades all in the realm of your control. You can't always change your circumstance, but you can always change your attitude and how you react to life itself. The two things that you'll find are consistently in the realm of your control is your attitude and then your work ethic. And it's a lot harder to manage our work ethic with a poor attitude, so we should start with the attitude. Capricorn, Mercury, exact reason why I tell you guys to make this message short and sweet, because I value your attention. I'm not here to waste anybody's time. To speak from a place of authority in a space of power, to understand the value of words, and to be deliberate and diligent in our communication in all ways, shapes, and forms. And the same thing translates to our values. Like I said, we have a long video that you can watch about the Venus Capricorn transit. I would encourage you to, again, be more positive to yourself and also more positive to the people that you partner with or consider your friends, associates, relationship partners. You should also do well to clarify your boundaries and understand what it is that you actually need to grow at this time relative to your needs, your goals. How can you put yourself in a position where you can't fail? That's the $1 trillion question. It's actually worth way more than money. This is going to require you to clarify your responsibilities and understand where your values lie so you can understand which actions to take based on the priorities you hold. Sounds simple, but you need to insert it in your own life, and it can get a little complicated. The biggest principle of all is do your best when it comes to Capricorn. This is the sign of integrity, the sign of hard work and mastery. What do we do when nobody's watching? Because that's what integrity is about. What do you do when nobody's watching you? Capricorn is a deep energy, and in my opinion, y'all, this is one of the most spiritual signs of the zodiac. Even though it's an earth sign ruled by Saturn and very cold and dry and pragmatic, this is that third sphere on the tree of life, which talks about the primordial forces of creation across the abyss, the dark goddess energy, the blank space of the womb that manifested us in creation. That's what Capricorn energy is all about. Anything is possible if you really take the time to build it. The quest of mastery is not easy. It's not supposed to be easy. You might have to do what others are not willing to do today to have what they can't have tomorrow. And that's something to think about. So in addition to Venus being in Capricorn and saying, let's build some real bonds, and let's build some stability, and let's get exactly what it is that we want. Step into your power. Four of Pentacles energy. I know I said I was going to pull cards. I'm pulling them from my mind, so let me grab the cards. But that's Four of Pentacles, Capricorn Sun energy, which we have today. Speaking of the solar system and working our way linearly through the progression, we have Mars retrograde in the sign of Gemini. A little bit frustrating, it's stimulating, and it's exciting. Mars governs our willpower and our energy in the direction of here, bruh. I was literally shuffling, and then I just looked down. There's that card I was telling you about on the top of the deck. Divination is weird. But the thing about Mars, the planet of assertion and power in the sign of Gemini, which is thought, speech, and intellect and communication, there's a lot going on in all of our mental lives collectively. You may be prone to overstimulation or frustration at this time. So with Mars being retrograde, we have the window of opportunity to glance into our own direction of our energy more clearly than ever. The only way that you can guarantee defeat for yourself in this season is by giving up. So never give up in the quest of your goals. The question is really, how do I redirect my energy whenever I don't get what I want? It's okay to feel overstimulated, but you need to understand that this transit right now, Mars retro in Gemini, ruled by Mercury in Capricorn, is all about how can I hold my mind in a more powerful position, and how can I really summon the authority that's vested within me by thinking powerful and stable and grounded thoughts. Whoa, that's a lot to think about. That's a lot to think about. You know, how can you find freedom through your mind and not freedom from the mind? There's actually no such thing as finding freedom from your mind. So we would do well to celebrate every bit of the work, even the frustrations and the disappointment or not getting what we want. You're not always promised to get what you want. Hey, if you want to hear from Saturn, you're only promised a couple things in life, and that's death, suffering, and taxes. So if you can make peace with that, the rest is just bonus. And that's really cool. Learn to love that. Oh, yes, indeed. With Mars and Gemini, you might have a lot to think about, and you might feel kind of quick-witted and driven. And speaking of Mars, this brings us into the transit of Jupiter in Aries, which regressed yesterday. Jupiter has already been in Aries this year, but because of its retrograde, it went back into Pisces, and now it's past the retro, it's direct, and we're in that post-shadow where it's catching back up to where the retrograde started. So we're still in the Jupiter retro post-shadow, but we're in the sign of Aries. And what this means basically is that all of us are feeling more inspired to take action, more faithful in our own autonomy. Jupiter governs expansion and growth and learning. And you may not see this written in books. I've never read this, but I have seen through practice that Jupiter is what you know unconsciously, and it gets revealed to you through your experience. So Jupiter in Aries is going to look like collectively all these individuals trusting themselves. That includes you, includes me, feeling more headstrong. Aries is the first sign. What you might be noticing right now is that you feel a little more restless, a little bit more eager to get up and go and to start taking action on your plans and really just embrace the initiative that you feel burning within you. This same energy feels like I don't need anybody's advice because I have this all figured out. And that being said, our sun is square Jupiter, and you're not going to have all the answers, and something's going to have to give. For you to really be able to assert yourself in the position that you want, you're going to have to take that massive action, but you need to also consider that you don't know what you don't know. Life is always presenting you with opportunities to learn and grow. And if you don't answer the phone, you might not get the message. And I'm here to remind you through that real Capricorn energy that if you cannot follow your own directions, you don't have the authority to boss anybody else around. Even though you feel like you know what's going on and what's going to benefit you, and you're probably right through Jupiter and Aries, if you don't practice what you preach, your voice doesn't matter at all. Ooh, that's cold. Oh, I know. And that hurts your feelings good, because humble your fucking self. Speak of the motherfucking devil, y'all. We got Saturn in Aquarius finishing its way through this sign. And Saturn takes about 2 to 3 years to go through each sign of the zodiac. So it is a longer, slower drag of the feet. You need to know that Saturn represents responsibility, and therefore it is the ruling planet of Capricorn. It represents what's real and tangible and viscerally true. That's what Saturn is about. Saturn loves Aquarius. It has 2 homes, and that's one of them, in addition to Capricorn. Because Saturn represents the real world, it also represents our fears about reality. And this is one of the easiest ways to connect with Saturn, I've found in my own practice with my own students of astrology, the further you get from the sun, the harder it is to connect with these planets personally. But I am so adamant on building a relationship with every planet in the solar system because you are a solar system, mentalism and correspondence. The thing about Saturn is that if you understand that this governs fear, you're going to actually understand its influence and application more clearly. You need to know that the last couple years, Saturn in Aquarius has added a lot of fear to our individual rights, our autonomy, our own authority. Aquarius represents community in the group at large. And this represents the human rights violations that we've been experiencing for the last couple of years. Truth be told, we've had some before Saturn went into Aquarius, but this is why we need freedom and we need change, but diametrically, all of us are worried about the group and scared to make the change. Freedom is the name of the game, and freedom is possible for you if you believe and if you take the appropriate actions. Freedom comes through responsibility. It doesn't come from responsibility. Freedom comes through responsibility. It doesn't come from responsibility. Happiness comes from responsibility. The meaning of life comes from our responsibilities. What are you meant to do? How are you going to respond to your abilities? Jupiter Aries says, now is the time to shine. Now is the time to take action. You are a star. Love you guys so much. Enjoy this transit. Enjoy this winter. Take care of yourself. Take care of your health. If you're in debt to yourself, you can't buy a motherfucking thing. So this is the time for you to give me some interaction. Hit that like button, please, and thank you. Drop me a comment. Let me know what's going on. Are you excited for this new moon? You ready for the breakdown? You want to hear about it? Let me know what you want to hear. Link in the bio, simplifiedastrology.com. I've got a book, I've got a course, A Labor of Love, teach yourself astrology in a more easy and fun fashion. In addition, if I'm not overbooked, I am doing a special right now for $50 off natal chart interpretations, and that is also in the bio. It's first come, first serve. I want to thank you guys for consistently keeping me booked up for like the last 2 years. That in itself is an honor and a privilege, and I cannot thank you enough for the reciprocity and the ability to do what I'm doing because it's beyond me at this point. So take care of yourself. Blessed be. See you guys later.